In a surprising move here, he gets traded from the Boston Celtics, who are obviously contending for the Eastern Conference, to the Chicago Bulls. So the Bulls have been wheeling and dealing here today, and they trade Maz Wagner, who they acquired earlier in the day from the Washington Wizards, and they flip him here for Daniel Theis, and a second rounder the Wizards give up as well. And Theis, he's been playing pretty good this season for the Boston Celtics. 9.5 points a game, 5.2 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 68% from the foul line, and 55% from the field. So Theis, he's been a pretty decent fantasy player as well for the Celtics and fantasy owners. But now he goes to Chicago, where he most likely will come off the bench after the Bulls made the blockbuster trade for Nikola Vukovic earlier in the day here at the deadline. So this deal just didn't make sense, in my opinion, for the Celtics. I think Theis was probably their first or second best center on the roster, but this trade's definitely going to help Robert Williams' value here for the Boston Celtics, and he should be a hot pickup in fantasy leagues this week, whichever leagues he's not picked up in, with Theis leaving town and going to Chicago. So Theis' fantasy value will take a hit with Vukovic there and starting in front of him. And as far as Wagner now, he goes to the Boston Celtics. And Wagner, we've seen some flashes from him this season where he could hit the three-point shot and stretch the floor when he was on Washington, averaging 7.1 points a game, 2.9 rebounds, 1.3 assists a game, 78% from the foul line, and 50% from the field. But I can't see Wagner really carving out a big role for this Celtic team. And this was more probably of a salary dump, even though we saw early in the day the Celtics make a good trade for Evan Fournier. So the Boston Celtics trade Thesis to the Chicago Bulls. And we'll see how this plays out here and what these guys could do for fantasy owners. But I don't expect much from both of them now with their new ball clubs.